Paul Pasulka, Ivy Masters Learning Center at ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at the 18th question from Digital SAT Test 1 Reading and Writing. Now, I'm going to read this sentence. We're going to say why the right answer is right, why the wrong answers are wrong. But then I'm also going to give you guys simpler examples to illustrate the same concept that this question is illustrating. So reading from the beginning of the paragraph, in 1966, Emmett Ashford became the first African American to umpire a Major League Baseball game. His energetic gestures announcing when a player had struck out and his habit of barreling after a hit ball to see if it would land out of bounds helped the traditionally solemn umpire role into a dynamic one. And then the question is, which choice completes a text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? So when we go through the answer choices, what we find is that 3 of these answer choices are sentence fragments. So now I'm going to read with answer choice B in place. B is going to be a sentence fragment. You got to watch out for ing verbs. When you've got an ing verb, oftentimes it'll turn a complete sentence into a sentence fragment. Here's a simple example, and then we're going to look at this one. I could say the dog ran outside. I've got a simple past tense ran, just like answer choice A has a simple past tense helped. That's a complete sentence. It's got a subject, dog, it's got a verb ran, it's a complete sentence. If I said the dog running outside, then it's no longer a complete sentence. So if the only verb in the sentence is an ing verb, it's going to not be a complete sentence. That's the equivalent to answer choice B. B is going to wind up being a sentence fragment. And now I'm going to read with B in place. His energetic gestures announcing when a player had struck out and his habit of barreling after a hit ball to see if it would land out of bounds, helping transform the traditional solemn umpire role into a dynamic one. Yeah, the thought never finishes. So you still have a subject, you still have a verb, but it's no longer a complete thought. Answer choice C. Again, I'm going to use my simpler example, then we're going to look at this one. The dog ran outside. What if I threw that before the word ran? Then I'd have the dog that ran outside, still has a subject dog, still has a verb ran. It's no longer a complete thought. The dog that ran outside. That's equivalent to answer choice C. I'm going to read with C in place. His energetic gestures announcing when a player had struck out and his habit of barreling over after a hit ball to see if it would land out of bounds, that helped transform the traditionally solemn umpire role into a dynamic one, still a sentence fragment. Answer choice D. I'm going to use my sentence again. The dog ran outside, and instead of ran, I'll say to run. The dog, to run outside, still has a verb. Dog still has a noun dog. It still has a verb to run. It's no longer a complete thought because I use the infinitive instead of the past tense verb. So answer choice D is going to be a sentence fragment as well. I'm going to read with D in place 1. His energetic gestures announcing when a player had struck out and his habit of barreling after a hit ball to see if it would land out of bounds to help transform the traditionally solemn umpire role into a dynamic one. Blah, 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 blah. D is going to be wrong. Also a sentence fragment. So the correct answer is the original. It's the equivalent of the dog, simple past tense, dog ran outside. And I read from the beginning, his energetic gestures announcing when a player had struck out and his habit of barreling after a hit ball to see if it would land out of bounds helped transform the traditionally solemn umpire role into a dynamic one. Answer choice A is your correct answer. It's got the subject, it's got the verb, it's also a complete thought. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has difficulty with identifying whether or not a sentence is complete, an independent clause, or a sentence fragment. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, and check out our 1-minute video on TikTok. Have a great day.